Have you ever caught yourself staring at your phone late at night? You are scrolling through social media and you see that person from your old high school. They are posting photos from a crystal clear beach in the Maldives. They look so happy and carefree. Meanwhile, you are over here feeling like a total champion. Why? Because your checking account finally hit 4 digits. It is a really wild feeling to navigate. You hear people talk about the top 1% all the time in the news. You might even wonder if you even qualify for the top 90% at this point. Well, today, we are going to pull back the curtain on everything. We are looking at what it actually looks like to be rich in America in 2026. I promise you that some of these numbers are going to catch you completely off guard. Welcome to the channel. I am Siraz Patwari. If you want to understand where you really stand on the financial ladder, please hit that subscribe button. Let's figure this out together. Let's start with a major reality check right now. What most of us think is rich is usually just a big illusion. We imagine private jets and massive mansions. We think of enough cash to buy a small island, but the truth is much different. Being in the top 10% of Americans actually requires way less money than the movies make it seem. In fact, you might already be closer than you realize, or you might discover that what you thought was wealthy is actually just the starting line when you close your eyes and picture a wealthy person. What exactly do you see? Is it a guy in a flashy Ferrari? Is he wearing a gold Rolex? Or is it someone who has the freedom to never worry? Here is the big secret you need to hear. Those two pictures of rich are actually worlds apart. Understanding that difference is the actual key. It is the key to building real wealth instead of just looking like you have it. The truth is that most people have no clue what real wealth looks like in this country. They see the expensive toys and they automatically assume wealth. But the real millionaires are often very different. They are often driving 10-year-old cars. They are living in totally modest homes. Meanwhile, that guy in the fancy car might be drowning. He might be living paycheck to paycheck, just like everyone else. The only difference is that his paychecks are larger. This confusion about what wealth really means is dangerous. It is exactly why so many people stay stuck. They focus on their income when they should be focusing on their net worth. They spend money to impress people they don't even like. So, let's talk about the actual numbers. We will start with income. This is usually the first thing people look at. It is how they decide who is winning and who is losing. Right now, the median household income is about $83,000. That means half of all households earn more than this amount to be in the top 50%. You only need to make more. Congratulations, you are officially above average if you hit that mark. But let's be honest for a moment. In most major cities today, $68,000 barely covers the basics. It barely covers rent and groceries. So, being average doesn't exactly feel like you're winning. It often feels like you are just barely keeping your head above water. If you want to climb higher, you have to look at the next step. To crack the top 25%, your household needs more. You need to bring in approximately $150,000 annually. Now we are getting somewhere. This is where families finally start to have some real breathing room. This is where you can actually save money instead of just surviving. You aren't just living paycheck to paycheck anymore. You can plan for the future. But even this is not the rich level yet. To hit the top 10%, that number jumps significantly. It goes to over $251,000 per year. This is where things get genuinely comfortable. These households can afford nice homes in good neighborhoods. They can take decent vacations. They can actually put meaningful amounts of money away for retirement. But wait, I have to remind you of something huge. You could earn $200,000 a year and still be totally broke. This happens if you are spending $250,000. Income and wealth are not the same things. To crack the top 5% of income earners, the numbers jump substantially to $335,000. This is serious money territory. These families can afford almost anything they want within reason. They can send their kids to private schools. They can build substantial wealth if they are smart about it. And then there is the famous top 1% for a household that now starts at approximately $659,000. This is where income becomes almost irrelevant to daily decision-making. But here is a little reality check for you. If you are looking at individual earners instead of households, that threshold is different at around $450,000. Many of those top 1% households are actually power couples. They are combining two very high incomes to reach that goal. But again, I must stress this to you. High income does not equal wealth. There are people earning 7 figures who are broke. They are broke because they spend 8 figures trying to keep up an image. On the flip side, there are people with modest incomes who are truly wealthy. They got there because they practiced consistent saving. They used smart investing over time. This is why net worth tells a much more accurate story. It tells the story of who is actually rich and who is just pretending. Net worth is a very simple formula. It is everything you own minus everything you owe. You add up everything you have, you subtract everything you owe. What is left is your true financial position. The median net worth has risen lately. It is now about $193,000. Again, half of all households have more than this. While this number has gone up, inflation is a problem. The purchasing power of that wealth isn't what it used to be. Think about this for a moment. Half of all households under 35 have a net worth below $39,000. That is barely the price of a reasonable new car. It is certainly not a down payment on a house in most major cities. This is why understanding these numbers is not just interesting, it is absolutely critical for your financial future. To reach the top 50% by net worth, you need more than that median of $193,000. It puts you ahead of half the country, which is a start. The top 25% of households is a bigger mountain. It starts at approximately $659,000. This is where families start to have real security. They often own their homes. They have retirement savings. They could weather a significant financial storm without going broke. But now, let's look at the rich tiers. To break into the top 10%, you need a net worth of roughly $1.9 million. Now we are talking about serious wealth at this level. Money starts working for you instead of the other way around. These households have multiple investment accounts. They probably own investment real estate. They have built enough assets that an interest alone is the top 5% households have at least $3.2 million. This is a massive jump from the top 10% tier. Families it is wealth that can last for generations. And the top 1%. You now need a net worth of at least $11.6 million. Some estimates are even higher. At this point, money becomes almost abstract. The gap between the top 10% and the top 1%. It is a gap of roughly $10 million. That is not just a step up, that is a completely different stratosphere of wealth. What makes these numbers even more fascinating is the structure. The gap between each tier isn't a straight line. The difference between middle class and upper middle class is big, but the difference between being truly wealthy is massive. This is where most people's understanding of wealth completely breaks down. They think it is just about earning a little more. They think it is just about saving a little more aggressively. But the reality is that each jump requires something different. It requires fundamentally different strategies. It requires different mindsets. It often requires different approaches. Let's talk about what life actually looks like at each level. The numbers alone don't tell the whole story. When you're in that bottom 50% by net worth, life is hard. You're essentially living in financial survival mode. Every unexpected expense is a potential disaster. Your car breaks down and suddenly you're in trouble. You are choosing between fixing the car or paying the rent. You're not building wealth. You're just trying not to drown. Moving into the top 50% feels different. It feels like finally being able to breathe underwater. You have some emergency savings now. You might have a small retirement account. You're not constantly stressed. But you're still very much dependent on your paycheck. If you lose your job, things get scary fast. The top 25% is where things change. This is where financial stress starts to fade into the background. You own a home in this tier. You probably have some growing investments. You're actually building wealth. This is what most people think of as middle-class success, even though it's actually above average by the numbers. But here's where things get really interesting. The jump from the top 25% to the top 10% is a major shift. It isn't just about having more money. It's about having different kinds of money. These households aren't just saving. They're generating income from their investments. Their money is starting to work for them. They are creating passive income. At the top 10% level, families often have multiple investment accounts. They might own some rental properties. They're thinking strategically about tax optimization. They're not just earning money from their jobs. This is the fundamental shift. It is what separates the comfortable from the wealthy. The top 5% take this even further. These households have built enough wealth that their investments generate substantial income. They might still work, but they're not entirely dependent on their paychecks for their lifestyle. Their wealth is becoming self-sustaining, and the top 1%, they've essentially escaped the traditional relationship. They have broken the link between time and money. Their wealth generates more wealth, automatically. It often grows faster than they can even spend it. They're thinking about generational wealth transfer. They are thinking about philanthropic impact. It is a completely different world. The difference in lifestyle between some levels is very obvious. Someone making $50,000 and someone making $200,000 live very differently, with a better house and car. They take fancier vacations, but look at the higher levels. The difference in lifestyle between someone worth $2 million and $20 million is surprisingly subtle. Both families live in nice homes. Both drive luxury cars and take expensive vacations. The $20 million family might have a slightly bigger house. They might take slightly more exotic trips. But their day-to-day lives aren't dramatically different in appearance. The real difference isn't in what they buy. It is in their relationship with money itself. The $2 million family still thinks about money regularly. They check their investment accounts often. They comparison shop for major purchases. They have a budget. The $20 million family has transcended that. They have moved past most financial decision-making. They don't think about money because they have enough that most purchases become irrelevant. Lifestyle inflation is a trap. Most people think earning more will make them happier, but their expenses just expand. Their lifestyle grows to match their income. The guy making $50,000 dreams about making $100,000. Then he realizes he needs more. He decides he needs $200,000. Then he needs $500,000. Meanwhile, there is another person. This person understood wealth-building principles early on. They might make $50,000, but they have been investing the difference. They invested the gap between their income and their expenses for 20 years. Their net worth has grown to 7 figures. Their lifestyle has remained modest. They've achieved actual wealth. This brings us to a very important concept. It is the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich is just an income level. Wealthy is a net worth level. You can be rich and still be broke. You can spend everything you earn on maintaining an expensive lifestyle. You can also be wealthy with a modest income. You can build substantial assets over time through discipline. The truly wealthy understand this deeply. They know that building net worth requires a completely different mindset. It requires thinking long-term instead of short-term. You must prioritize assets over liabilities. You must understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Most importantly, it requires the discipline to live below your means. You must do this when means are substantial. The path to each tier isn't just about making more money. It's about making different financial decisions. The families in the top 10% aren't just earning more. They're doing fundamentally different things with their money. They're maximizing their retirement contributions. They are investing in appreciating assets. They are minimizing tax burden. They're thinking strategically about debt. They understand that a mortgage on an appreciating asset is different. It is not the same as credit card debt on a depreciating purchase. They know the difference between speculation and investment. The top 5% takes this even further. They're not just participating in traditional markets. They create opportunities. They are starting businesses and investing in real estate. They are building multiple income streams. They understand that diversification is key. It isn't just about having different stocks. It is about different types of assets. And the top 1%, they're playing an entirely different game. They're not just building wealth. They're building wealth-generating systems. They own businesses that produce income, whether they work or not. They invest in opportunities that aren't available to regular investors. They structure finances to maximize growth. But here's what's really fascinating. The strategies that work at one level don't necessarily work at the next level. The budgeting and saving strategies that help you move from the bottom won't get you to the top 10%. The investment strategies that work for the top 10% might not be appropriate for someone starting out. This is why so much financial advice is confusing. The advice for someone trying to get out of debt is completely different. The strategies to save your first 100,000 are unique and different from the strategies to grow to 10 million. Understanding where you currently stand is crucial. Understanding what the next tier requires is how you make progress. If you're in the bottom 50%, your focus should be narrow. You need to build emergency savings and eliminate debt. If you're in the top 25%, you should be looking further and maximizing retirement contributions. If you're in the top 10%, you should be thinking about tax optimization and looking at alternative investments. The reality is that most people get stuck because they're using strategies designed for their current level. It's like trying to climb a mountain using the same techniques you'd use for hiking a hill. But the equipment is different. The preparation and mindset required are completely different. This is why people plateau. They master the strategies that got them there, but they never learn the strategies required to break through. The person who's great at budgeting might reach $50,000 in savings, but have no idea how to reach $500,000. The entrepreneur who built $1 million business might be clueless about preservation strategies. The median American household will likely never reach the top 10% because they never learn the wealth-building strategies. They spend their entire careers focused on income optimization. They should be focusing on net worth optimization. Take two people who both earn exactly $100,000 per year for their entire careers. One could retire with $3 million, while the other might retire with only $300,000. It is the same income, but completely different outcomes. The difference isn't luck or market timing. It is understanding how wealth actually works. The person who retires with $3 million understood a core truth. They understood that every dollar has the potential to become multiple dollars, and they used compound growth. They maximized their retirement contributions and invested in appreciating assets, avoiding the lifestyle inflation trap. The person who retires with $300,000 was different. They treated their income like a spending limit. They didn't see it as a wealth-building opportunity. But here's where this gets interesting from a psychological perspective. The higher up the wealth ladder you climb, the more you change your relationship with money fundamentally shifts. When you're in survival mode, money represents security. Every dollar saved is protection against a potential disaster. When you reach the comfortable middle-class level, money now represents options. You can choose where to live. You can choose what to drive and where to vacation. But when you reach true wealth, money becomes almost abstract. It's not about what you can buy anymore. It's about what you can build and what you can create or influence. The ultra-wealthy aren't thinking about purchasing power. They're thinking about impact and legacy. Money becomes a tool for achieving goals that extend far beyond personal consumption. This shift in perspective is actually one of the biggest obstacles most people can't imagine having enough money. Because they can't imagine it, they never develop the long-term thinking required for wealth. They are so focused on what money can buy today, they never consider what money could become tomorrow. They worry about next month, while the wealthy worry about the next generation. So, there you have it. That is the real breakdown of what being rich actually means in America today. Whether you're celebrating that 4-digit checking account or you are already planning a big investment, you know the truth. Now you know exactly where you stand and what it takes to climb higher. The choice is yours. You can keep chasing the appearance of wealth, or you can start building the real thing. You can start focusing on your net worth and start making your money work for you. Thanks for watching this deep dive again. I'm Siraz Patwari. If this was helpful, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Stay smart with your money.